major that knows how, like the tools to do that, but you also need somebody who has those creative ideas to come up with new ways to fix those problems.
Mm-hmm.
To go back to the infrastructure and back to the STEM and liberal arts thing, one of the arguments that we brought up when we were talking about was thinking about like the programming of self-driving cars and the ethics that goes into that. That you would need not necessarily STEM-only education. Traffic engineering specifically would have to take into account a lot of human behavior factors, and that would not be STEM-only education. So I think there's a lot of arguments that you can make when you look at like specific applications of like engineering things specifically, that you need a lot of the knowledge produced in other fields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are a lot of, for example, research going on here. Engineers, collaborate with psychologists, for example, in order to look at things from different perspectives, right? Okay. How about your response? Or any other points that you want to make?
I really agree with what you were saying. I was just afraid reading, and the reason I'm over here is because I saw it more as a STEM integrated with liberal arts, that everyone in STEM should have an integration with liberal arts rather than the value of liberal arts for liberal arts, that there are humanities that add like essential values to society, and that things like ethics and anthropology and arts offer something to society, and that I didn't think he made a very strong argument that those things on their own deserve to be supported rather than integrated into someone else's education.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of his points about for example, engineering. There has been a lot of research going on. There are a lot of new things happening in engineering education, right? Like there is a whole area, engineering education field here, right? There are researchers that are trying to figure out ways to make your engineering courses more interactive, more active learning strategies, group work and things like that. I don't know, 5-10 years ago, maybe it was more like lecture based, I'm pretty sure you still have those courses, but there are also these research studies going on as we learn more about human learning. There are changes in engineering or STEM education as well. So we need to think about that too. Any other points? What are you thinking about his opinions about tests?
We kind of thought that was pretty interesting that we rank lower than other countries
Yeah.
in testing, but then our GDP is higher. And when somebody else said that it's so different based on each country, because you could say Sweden has a smaller population than the United States, and so we have a huge range of people
Yes.
that we're collecting information from, and they have a smaller range. We have different education systems that you're comparing for these tests. I don't think I'm in education, there's not really an international test that every single person takes on the same day. So it's kind of not a complete reflection of ourselves.
Yeah. It's also, this is something that we discuss here, but what exactly these tests are measuring. We keep hearing about the students in the United States are on the, not on the top of the list, but some of these tests, if you can look at it, you can basically Google and find the example questions. They share the questions. Some of them are just, you will see those tests simply asking students or requiring them to recall factual information, not questions are focusing on critical thinking skills, for example. So it depends on what tests he's talking about, in terms of thinking about the orders here too. What else?
Also, I was just thinking about the test, and I think you mentioned it before about different countries, different cultures, and you cannot make one standardized test, especially that in different cultures you value different skills, you value different things. Like, for example, you can value the importance of specific clear facts, or importance to be an average, or to be as others, or to simulate. And it's so hard to make the same exact test for all the nations and all the cultures, especially that for example, in America, you will find, or any other countries, its values different from north to south, west to east, and it's extremely hard to make a test that would portray correctly how people are educated and how they, in general.
Yeah. That's actually one reason why they are sharing so many questions from these tests, because they realize that those are not working. You know, every year they keep adding more questions to their databases as they see that questions are not working, so they share those with public too. Okay, any other ideas?
One thing I've kind of heard about the standardized test that makes the U.S. a lot different than other countries is the No Child Left Behind policy. So they build up a lot of kids that way and help them succeed. But at the same time, we have kids from an entire range of backgrounds and stuff taking these
Yes.
tests. Whereas in other countries, it can be a very, very limited number of a small portion of the population
Yeah,
taking these tests.
yeah. I think that was your point, like in, you know,
Talk about
civilians.
a lot in, like our education courses, and so you have kids with like, you have international kids, you have kids who like maybe illegal immigrants, English language learners, students with disabilities, and all these kids are taking the same tests, so you can't, like, you don't have that small pool of like the same set of people that are doing the same thing. You have different schools all across the U.S. Like our country, like each state is responsible for the education of the
Yeah.
people inside that state, so we don't have something that's nationwide, but then you
Yeah.
establish a nationwide test, so you can't expect to get the same results
Yeah.
if you don't have the same like administration
Yeah.
in each state.
Yep, even for example, science education, we have nationwide standards. You know, there is like a book like this big for science teachers, but the standards are very broad. And, you know, states can decide if they want to follow those or not. For example, Indiana choose not to follow the national science education standards. You know, there are about 40 states decided to follow those standards. So there is this, you know, like not one single approach. You know, there are different approach each states are using. So it's also hard to think about the standardized test in terms of that, or national test. Any other ideas about the article? Anything in that piece that make you to think about something more or less? You know, anything that you want to share? No? Any questions about STEM education? Go ahead.
I've been hearing STEAM being
STEAM.
used a lot more, having the A for arts.
Excellent
I didn't
question.
mention that until the latter part, but here we are.
Yeah.
Where that idea, that stigma of separating just technology-based, just STEM majors,
Yeah.
with lib art majors, and how that's already combining the stigma that's been there for oh so long and slowly dying out. And STEAM, granted, is just the first step to the mile, but it has been slowly going away.
Yeah.
The idea of, well, that you don't need the anthropologists, you don't need the marketers, you don't need the communication leaders.
Mm-hmm.
But it's being applied everywhere. I think you can even say that science and technology are even applied into into doing communications, or into doing something that would be considered a liberal art major as well.
Yeah.
It works both ways.
Yeah. It's a great point. You know, like people started to use the acronym STEAM maybe like last 2-3 years, like 2-3 years ago. That was one of the main reasons were like adding the social sciences aspect to the to STEM. And like here at Purdue, for example, A represent agricultural education when you say STEAM. In other places, it's arts. But then some STEM educators, they don't agree with this idea because they said that, well, art is already part of design, for example. It's a part of engineering. Art is, you know, there's no need to add another letter to this, to STEM. You know, some institutions, like for example, NSF or Department of Education, started to clarify their positions now for STEM. For example, NSF says that it's not just these 4 disciplines, areas, science, technology, engineering, and math. They said that, you know, social sciences, learning sciences are included in STEM. You know, when you are writing a proposal to NSF, you need to be explicit about like what exactly you mean by STEM and how you are including the social sciences aspect to it. It's same for Department of Education, you know. So right now, at the beginning, it was more like these only 4 disciplines. Then we started to talking about the including the social sciences, and now it's more like this integrated approach. You know, even in K-12 classrooms, when we teach STEM, for example, in science classrooms, we said that we try to teach science or math through using engineering design process. So it's like trying to integrate more than 2 or 3 disciplines. Do you have a question?
No, for me, going back to the STEAM comment,
Yep.
I see the STEAM more often in the younger groups, in like earlier elementary
That's true.
school, because it seems like younger kids, it's easier to get them interested in that type of creative thinking
Yep.
through the arts earlier on.
Yep.
Some of those.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yes, that's true. Also, you know, when you think about engineering with the little kids, elementary kids, it's a lot of, you know, arts and crafts projects. If you are working in any outreach programs, the whole reason is not really teaching students science in the after-school programs, for example, helping them understand what engineering is, what engineers do, you know, like, because not all students have opportunities or they have access to these in their formal classrooms to learn about engineering or stuff. Any other points, questions? No? Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you know, it helped you to start thinking about STEM a little bit different, you know, and you know, start also thinking about the future of STEM education, because since you guys have in most of you are in engineering majors, right? And some of you are in education, special education, I guess, right? Okay. So I hope you find it helpful. So this is all I have for today, tonight.